Has anybody seen that video before?
Yes.
You have? I think I've seen that before a long time ago too. So what resonates with you from the video?
For me, like it made me choke up just because of some of the issues I'm dealing with this year.
Yes.
Her passion and just not giving up and just saying, some days you have to be that actor or actress, you know, but knowing every kid needs that champion.
Yes.
And it just really struck a chord with me.
Yes.
How important it is to make a connection with each child.
You know, try to find something, even this tiniest little thing that you can, to show them that you care. I mean, even if you don't, like you again, we always say fake it till you make it. That's one of the big things in education. You have to, and I mean, it's true. And it's, you know, normally those kids that are the toughest are the ones you end up caring the most about, especially once you see their growth and you've been that person for them. Then when you see what has happened from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, they end up being one of your favorite little people.
Then once you kind of think back fondly on, it might not be fondly at this time,
Right.
but later on you're like, yeah.
And I'll say too that, like, just reiterates that yes, we're teachers, we're here to teach, but that emotional connection is really what's gonna help those kids.
Yes. Yes. Okay, anything else? Alrighty. The next question, how do you think our school does in ensuring every child has a champion?
Well, we greet them at the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we bring positive reinforcement as they step in. So I think that's really good.
I think our classroom contracts and some of the things that we do also help, because it kind of holds, like I know for me and several others, we use that whole family aspect and helping each other for 180 days. So we try to let them know we are gonna be here for each other. So when they come, they feel like hopefully it's a safer place where they can make mistakes and, you know, or they're gonna have bad days, but it's okay, they're gonna get another chance. So we kind of form a bond with them, and that helps them, you know, want to be at school hopefully.
Yes.
And feel like they can do it. I think we do a good job of that, because, I mean, most of us that I've seen that are teachers in the building use that class contract, so they have some ownership. You know, they're a part of things. We're not just, like she said, feeding them things constantly. They're a part of their learning.
Yes.
And I think I've seen it throughout the school, not just in my class, but throughout the school. Kids realize quickly that even if they've made a mistake, they don't have to wait till tomorrow. The next second, you know, we can start over, we can start fresh. We have that relationship, we talk about it, and then, okay, now let's just turn it around. So they realize they don't have to go through the day beating themselves up. They can start fresh the next moment.
Exactly. Next question. What are the things we do to create engagement in the classroom and relationships with our students?
Now, I think one thing, like Tracy just said, the social contract, that gets them involved. They decide, what does the atmosphere look like in the classroom? What do we want it to look and sound like? So they have ownership.
When we get the chance to do the good things, or, you know, and I've even had a student too that has come to me and said, I don't wanna say this in front of everybody, but can I talk to you? So even the fact that she was willing to say something to me that was bothering her, the fact that they began to feel okay with sharing something, and if not to me, to Ms. Wallace or whoever, you know, they make a connection with, the fact that they are willing to verbalize it and not hold it in, and learn how to deal with those emotions because they feel like it's a safe place to be. I think we do a pretty good job of that for the majority of our students.
I think that it is so important to talk to your kids and explain to them, oh, you know what, I made the mistake, just like you did. This is how, this same thing happened to me. Connect with them.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more real. They don't feel secluded or all alone or, you know, whatever. I think it's really good for them to see that we also make mistakes.
Exactly.
And we also have a hard time. We also struggle with this or that.
Yes, I agree. Being vulnerable with them is important. Yes.
I liked what she said about apologizing, because I do feel like that is big. I feel like maybe some feelings don't get honored at home. I mean, we're parents, you know, I probably didn't do it as much, honestly, with my personal children as I do with my kids here, cause you're tired after work once you get home, but like if I make a mistake, I will try to tell them, I'm sorry about that. You know, here's how I'm gonna fix it, you know, or is that okay with you, or we'll have a conversation depending on what it is. Or like she said, when I'm teaching, if I'm like, uh-oh, boys and girls, look, Miss Corbett's gotta fix this, I made a mistake, it's okay. Let's just, you know, that's what erasers are for, or whatever, just to encourage them that, you know, it's okay to go over that hump and not, like she said, let it bother you all day long and be
Yes.
something that's gonna ruin your whole entire day or week.
Yes. I think to remember back in the days of the clip system and they would move their clip down. Now that we've kind of moved away from that, I think that's building a stronger relationship as well. I know it was hard, like I remember my clip chart was so important, you know, and when you made a mistake, but you know, now just having more conversations around what they did and it's really helping with the relationships. Okay. Alrighty, what else could we or should we do?
And we're talking about building champions, honoring, them in whatever aspect, that we, see that they are making great choices, whether that's putting them on, you know, our newscast or allowing them to come on, you know, the school overhead and just announce that, you know, such and such knows their letters today, or, they mastered, you know, their test score, some of the student that you know that might have been struggling or, you know, that's worked hard. So just, honoring them more other than, you know, within the classroom. I think we need to see it more outside in our school community.
Yes, I agree.
I think too, we focus on good morning and let's get, you know, positive attitude in the morning. But throughout the day, it kind of maybe drops a little bit. They got a bad grade, they got in trouble. How about before you leave, you have the 3 minutes or 4 minutes on the carpet to boost them back up and send them home feeling good about their day. That might be a good idea.
That is a good idea. I love that. Alright. And one more question. What are the barriers?
Well, sometimes they don't have a voice, to understand that they are a champion or understand that they do. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to talk through, you know, your feelings. Because like, you know, Tracy said, when you go home, you have to follow and abide by, you know, your parents' rules. And so, I think the barrier for them is to know that they are great. You know, come from greatness, you belong in greatness. And so once they begin to understand that, then we might break that barrier down, for students.
Yeah, I think cultures play a lot, probably play a part of that somewhat in some aspects. You know, cause different cultures believe different things. And then you also have the home life. Sometimes it may not be the best. And so that is a barrier, or if you don't have parental support, that's a barrier because, you know, you're trying to help build these things up. But if they get tore down when they go home, again, like then you're in this vicious cycle because you're trying to start over the next day, and that takes time to do all that. And by the end of the year, you got them in a good pattern, and then we have to let them go. So, I mean, sometimes their home life can play a part, but sometimes it's just us understanding cultures too. Like, I think we need to throw that in there and figure out how to help, parents, how to help them and not impede on their culture, but help them understand too that we're coming from a place of, you know, of meaning, like, because you know, I can't remember what culture it is, but I know some cultures from Africa, like different, you can't look, just the simple look you in the face, or they're very stern, you know, they can't express feelings, they can't talk back to their parents, so to speak. And we're trying to tell them to do it, so that makes the kids very uncomfortable. So helping the parent, maybe like parent information, you know, on why that helps or something like that. But especially when you're coming from outside of the country like that, because they may not have the knowledge that those things actually are a positive. Because they don't know any different either, that's what they were taught, so that's just what they assumed they should do.
I think another thing that we unintentionally put on is this, as we get into the school year, we get the stress of the data and the academics, and we've gotta get this in, so we don't take the time to really focus on the relationship like we should. We should put that first.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we too often get caught up in the stress of the job.
Right.
And we need to stop and remember, you know, these children, they're the reason we're here in the first place, and we need to build that relationship. But I think sometimes we just, not meaning to, but we put the other first.
We do. Yeah, a lot of times they're a number instead of that, you know, little boy or girl sitting in the seat with feelings and emotions, and yes. Okay. Thank you, ladies.